Так, зараз буде огляд півфінального матчу, в якому зіграє Джо Хіггінс і Ноппон Saengkham. Джо Хіггінс 12-й в рейтингу, Ноппон 22-й. Фінальну стадію турніра. Півфіналіст отримує 17 500 фунтів стерлінгів. В іншому півфіналі грав Гаррі Вілсон і Джої Лонг. Гаррі Вілсон виграв з рахунком 6-5 і вийшов в фінальну стадію турніра.
Possibly that will be a factor in it. Well, actually, Higgins here with the one-table setup, whereas Noppon Saengkham sometimes he's not well in the tournament and has got to this point. Hasn't done as well as the likes of John over many years. I guess the other thing to say about that, of course, is when you do reach the one-table events, you're normally playing someone very good.
Ближню ліву лузу, вихід на чорний шар.
Well, he will attack. That's one thing he does do. He goes for his shots, and he's got a plan, and it's to take shots on. And he gets a lot of them. Commentary last night, Discovery Plus on his match with Sanderson Lamb, and he didn't hold back at any point. Had a lot of big shots. Got loads of them. Good game it was, actually.
Start for Higgins, and you can see the support he's got here. This is his 83rd
semi-final. Джо Хіггінс виграє шифрей, ведеться матчі з рахунком 1-0.
Sullivan holds the record with 90, but of course those guys, they're not interested in semi-finals, they want trophies.
Другого фрейму.
Higgins hasn't won one in a ranking event since early 2021.
You can see it was on its way towards that middle pocket. Go in, but it did come away from the Reds. I don't think anything is available here, so immediately chance has not necessarily been taken. Sad about Noppon, where often he's done well in the event. Go back to last year's British Open when played some really good snooker during the course of that, but in the semi-finals he was hammered actually by Mark Allen. Played beautifully at Mark Allen, but he didn't really compete in that match, and it was kind of over in a flash for a best of 11. It might have been more the way that Mark Allen played than anything else, but similar kind of occasion here tonight.
In this cushion first. Higgins has covered the red.
These are not easy shots to pot. The red's over the pocket, yes, but you can easily misjudge these, miss them altogether, or swerve too much into the ball.
That's exactly what's happened, so what a gift for Higgins. So he was a bit fortunate to cover the red that went over the pocket. Well,
the black is in a very odd place, really, by those two reds away from his spot, so he's completely out of the game. So we'll have to make do with everything else. Plenty of reds invitingly positioned.
6. I thought it was interesting what he said last night to Rachel in the studio about Ronnie O'Sullivan. He said, without Ronnie and Mark Williams actually doing what they're doing, people would look at me at the age of 48 and say, well, you're doing really well. It's incredible that you're still at the top. But of course, because they're winning big tournaments, and he's always been bracketed with them. He sort of felt left out, but maybe this could be the weekend where let's join them again in that winner's circle.
Ideas of moving those two reds by the black here, bringing the black into play. No, not what he tried. Although I might wish he had. It's come in the most horrendous place. How does he finish there? I mean, he's got all those reds, the whole table, and that is one of the very few places on it where he's on nothing. He's been unlucky to finish there, quite honestly. He hasn't even got a shot. All he can do is roll up to the red, which might bring about a stalemate, actually.
John Higgins, 12.
Might have spotted there that was his second attempt. First was an air shot, although in snooker it doesn't count as a penalty as it might in golf. I just don't see any way this can be resolved, actually, because the red over the pocket. Noppon's not going to try and do anything flash here. What's he doing? Q is underneath the ball almost. Well, whatever he's doing, I'd suggest he doesn't try it again.
No, that was his intricate little shot he was attempting, which just fell on its face.
Yeah, I think what he's tried is just tried to basically put the cue down low and just swing it up and just catch the edge of the ball. Why? And the miscue.
Touching gold balls.
That's touching anything there. So what do you do now? I mean, can you get away up the table? There's obviously one way, up or down, which would be a foul. I don't know which one. 30 years, man and boy.
Well, there you are, John. If you wait long enough, you'll see everything.
I think the solution is to set them up.
John, I know.
If any of these reds move now, it'll be called a foul, and Liv and Martina is absolutely on top of it.
You see, they had the excitement of the respot this afternoon. Now we've got this to start the evening.
So Olivier is definitely looking to see if any of these two reds move, because they're both touching, and if they move, he'll call a foul. Because
Noppon Saengkham,
for the reasons I explained, that if you cannot move the red that you're touching if you hit it directly, because if you hit a cushion first, different, but there's always going to be a foul as well.
Bravo.
So it's a free ball, swooping after the foul. And what looked like a certain stalemate, now there's a chance for Noppon Saengkham. Which he has not taken.
Thank you.
What a chance that was. What a chance after all that.
Well, it's one of those days, isn't it? Here at the Scottish Open, expect the unexpected.
somehow he's not in the same scrape that he was in earlier, but he's actually he definitely didn't mean to finish there. Fancy him for this plant, but the red close to the pocket. He's not hanging over the pocket, teetering on the brink. He don't hit it right. It could stay out. I'd expect him to get it.
Sort of been said over the years he's not great with the rest, but he didn't miss one with it last night. He's just potted that plant using it. Can he knock pink in as well? Yes, he can. Well,
he's not finished on there again, is he?
It's going to be one of those nights maybe where everything's difficult.
Is he on that red?
Reaction suggested not, but he's come to have a look now from the pocket.
There's some kind of magnetic force in the middle of the table there by that black ball, and then just getting sucked into it.
He can get through to this one, or can he? Yep. Stretched first frame. Got over that hurdle though. This is his fourth semi-final actually of the season. Lost to Judd Trump at the European Masters and the English Open. Of course, Higgins was 5-2 up in that match, and he also was beaten by Callan at the Champion of Champions. That was 6-2. Aaron pulled away in the second half.
Deceive me, he's not on anything again. This is a really tough pot. So difficult to locate the angle when you're close up the ball you're playing.
Not the most conventional break, but he's still going. Terrific red. Again, you know, I say fourth semi-final of the season. As we see the red again, we're sort of comparing him to his record, aren't we? A lot of people would be more than happy with that, wouldn't they? But of course, he's in this game for more trophies.
$27. 32.
Once again, he just overrun. cannot quite control the cue ball in this just over half a frame that we've watched. It's an odd table. I mean, as I said at the very beginning, the two reds and the black where they are has made everything a little awkward, but we've seen that firsthand.
Yeah, because it has been reclocked overnight from the table he played on last night.
Blue ball.
So just looking to close the shot, 49-point lead.
John Higgins.
Blue on the
33.
cushion, the percentage play from Higgins. Not to continue though.
Yeah, Noppon is clearly not settled yet because he had that free ball and he missed a pretty straightforward brown, which would have counted as a red, but it didn't go in. Played that well because the black is covering the left side of the bunch. Got a straightforward safety shot.
Reconfigured overnight, the second table taken out. He's run three sides now. Yeah, Saengkham at the World Grand Prix last season, he beat Selby, O'Sullivan and Williams to get to the semis. Then Mark Allen again, as in the British Open, beat him 6-1. So it's reproducing the form that he displayed through the tournament, where maybe there's been multi-tables in this environment. It's the challenge, of course.
At least to be able to disturb the black and the two reds now. Might be able to get a good cue ball here and somewhere behind the green. Noppon. You're not out of this frame. If you can play a good safety shot, just get things opened up. It's not too bad, but it's not really put John in trouble.
No, the opposite, in fact. He left a red on, so Higgins gets another chance to win this frame. Pink will put him 56 in front, so he would need another red in the colour afterwards. Been hard work. It's been a strange frame in some ways, but Saengkham hasn't quite settled yet.
So red colour. Maybe the black anyway, high value. So that will require, mean that Noppon requires a snooker, but I guess after this afternoon you should never assume it means that the frame or match is over. At that point, remarkable 3 snookers in the deciding frame. But, Gary Wilson required, but somehow he got them.
15.
Something that happens every day, that.
16. 23.
So Noppon Saengkham, it really went wrong when he got the free ball, that Brown. Missed it. His
24.
chance to get his hand on the table, get going, didn't happen. So it took a few visits, but John Higgins dominated the frame, and we're off and running in the second semi-final here at the Scottish Open. Gary Wilson waiting on Sunday. John Higgins leads Noppon Saengkham 1-0. What a treat they had, that extraordinary finish with Gary Wilson, and you've got to feel a bit sorry for Zhou Yulong. I mean, to finish on a respot is one thing, but how they got there with obviously Gary getting the snooker is just incredible.
There's something about a match finishing with various shots at the last black. Obviously, on a respot, that's likely to happen unless someone cuts it in. But you know, over the years, there have been some great matches that have done that, but they're quite few and far between. Crunching pot, and that's what he does. That is what he does. And if he gets that long game going, he's a handful for anybody. He commits to them. I think that's the point. He really does. He doesn't hold back. Yeah, matches finishing on respot in black at the very last frame.
Please.
Very rare, aren't they? Isn't that Masters finals? Either on black or a respot. I know that Stephen Hendry had a match at the Crucible which went to a respot as well against Nigel Bond. He lost that one.
Yeah, the very first Masters final between Reardon and Spencer went to a respot. John Spencer won it. I think you played, Neil, as well, the World Cup for England.
Yes.
Steve Davis and Dino Kane.
That's right. Jimmy White and I were pacing the boards backstage, cheering on Steve, probably for the first time ever, with our teammate.
Thank you. 8.
So this is his chance to get his hand on the table and get used to conditions after that rather odd first frame. He is a heavy scorer. He's had 20 centuries already this season, which is 5 more than he had the whole of last season. He's made a maximum in the Welsh Open back in 2019. He's one of those players I think everyone likes to see do well. He's such a friendly,
15.
humble person. Heard him talking about he's now got his family with him, which just makes it easier being over here in the UK for such long stretches of the year. And his daughter is called
16.
Believe, so that tells you something about his attitude.
Played a good shot there. He didn't have to do that. He could have run through, but he wanted to get reds out. And indeed the pink. Yeah, he's a fierce competitor on the table, but an absolute delight, as you say, to be in the company of away from the table. He's a lovely guy, actually. And I think even the biggest John Higgins fans, I'm sure they'll loathe. If you met him, you would never deny him any success he had in this event.
24.
Puts a lot of practice in as well. Just struggled in, he'd be relieved because that would have set him back with that stay down. similar shot here on this next thread, actually. Into the middle. Of course, he missed that brown in the first thread, the opposite middle. Although this one is straighter, so it should be all right. Yeah, not such a difficult shot. Coming across at an angle into it. But as you can see from this black, it's not that easy to get onto a red, especially over on that right side of the table. We might be playing into them here. They deserved a better fate than that. That's a pity.
47. Noppon Saengkham 47.
Bring the pink out of there. See, playing off the side of the bunch, don't want to knock a red out, but pink is the most likely to emerge out of the bunch. Because he doesn't mind that. Higgins won't be too concerned by that 47 break of Noppon Saengkham. It isn't enough to really worry him, especially where the balls are, should a chance come. Well, it's another absolutely thunderous long pot, which is, as we've said, his trademark. It's quite an unusual blend, though, with Noppon, because he's not the quickest player. He has a long routine, and it's safe to say that he's very attacking and quite deliberate at the same time, which is an unusual blend.
6.
Well, he's got rewards here for positivity. Just got to kill it off now, and it'll be one each. Sir James Wattenard, the great Thai player, he won 3 ranking events. Tepchara Nu won the shootout under ranking status. Noppon Saengkham looking to join them as Thai ranking event winners.
14.
So the pink and one more red. It should be one each.
Thankfully, whoever it was who couldn't hold that sneeze back managed to hold it back just after that shot was played. It was an extraordinary noise. Anyway, didn't deter him, Noppon. And as you can see, 67, the difference, 75 on, but that means one more point.
20.
Mean that John Higgins will need a snooker because there'll be 67 left on the table and 68 in it when this goes in, if it does.
Well, I'm sure he saw what happened earlier and he knows you've got to kill these frames off well and truly. Blue, and it's 2 snookers needed. Oh. Yeah, that wasn't going in, was it? So 1 needed.
Noppon Saengkham 21.
I mean, there was talk recently from some quite eminent people in the game that, you know, scrap playing for snookers, but how could that have been any more exciting, what happened earlier? I know it doesn't always happen, obviously, but it can, and it's all part of the game. It's the skill of the game, playing them, getting out of them. Well, the long balls are flying in, aren't they, from Noppon Saengkham, and that should secure this second frame now.
He's got 3 terrific long reds into that right corner. And as I say, John will be fully aware that if Noppon gets his long game going like that all evening, he's going to be a handful. He'll do well to keep him out for long periods, even though he's the most experienced and arguably the best match player of the lot.
He's quite high up the list, I think, of
14.
players yet to win a ranking event who you could see definitely coming through and doing so. Of course, he's looking, though, to reach his first final. It would be a big step tonight for Noppon Saengkham if he could win this match.
Twenty-two.
Yeah, to actually play in the pre-qualifying, he beat Rebecca Kenner, and then here in Edinburgh, Lucas Kleckers, Ali Carter, that was a big win. Matt Selt, who of course had knocked out Selby, and then last night Sanderson Lamb.
Thirty. 31.
Had that 5-on lead, didn't he, over Tom Ford at the UK Championship and lost 6-5. That was a blow, but you just got to get on with the next event these days. You don't have to wait too long. Of course, the shootout was in between York and here, but this is turning into maybe a golden week for him.
Thank you. 38.
Funnily enough, he was knocking everything in the frames last night until he got to the point where he needed one more, and then he lost his way a little bit. Maybe an after effect of that match in York, as you say. Because if he's going to win tonight, he can't allow anything like that to happen.
45.
Should be a really interesting match tonight, I think. The first 2 frames would indicate that anyway. So a slight contrast in styles, which makes it worth seeing.
50.
Yes, he's played in the end. Very good frame. Right up to the end.
56.
So Noppon Saengkham levels up. Higgins dominated the first frame. Noppon Saengkham has done the same in the second. We're all square. One each, 6 the target for place in the final. Snooker actually on Monday. John Higgins at the moment is scheduled to be playing in the German Masters qualifiers in Sheffield. I suspect he'll move his match if he were to be in the final tomorrow. And that would be to set the field at the Tempodrome in January. And various players also then are off to Macau, aren't they, for the Christmas exhibition tournaments and all the rest of it. But this is the last major event of the year that John Higgins would dearly love to end his title drought here on home soil. Whoever comes through has got to do something no one's done in 2 years, and that's beat Gary Wilson at this venue. I mean, he looked like Joey Long had done it, but something about the Meadowbank Wilson seems a little untouchable here.
Brilliant. You can see that it just about went, and John came round to study that. Yes, he was getting the cue ball back, which was part of it, 50% of it, I'd say. When the puck goes in, you obviously get the advantage. Needs to make sure he gets it tight, though, because there's long red's potential.
Bramble.
To get right in behind this brown, leaving not on the chance to crunch in another long red.
John Higgins 1.
Has he covered it? Left red. Get right in flush to it. Yeah, well, there's your answer. Absolutely. John did enough. That shot, he rolled up. Well, he overhit it, and it was ill-directed as well. And the worst part about it is that he might have left John the shot to pop the red and move the red away from the black. In one shot here. So it could hardly have gone any worse, that escape from Noppon Saengkham.
He made his first century of the week last night. He looked good last night, Higgins. He looked confident. He'd struggled a bit in the best of sevens, but it seemed to be a sea change. Certainly early on against Tom Ford, he came out, made 3 really good frames early on.
9. 70.
Two cushions here to get closer to the black.
John Higgins has won a ranking event in Scotland. The 2008 Grand Prix was played in Glasgow, which is actually a bit nearer to where he lives. But that's a while ago now, isn't it? 15 years. He was runner-up in the Scottish Open when it was first part of the Home Nations, 2016 to Marco Fu, and then he lost 2 years ago to Luke Purcell. That was actually in Llandudno.
$33. 40.
Choice of reds, this one without the angle, keep him down for the black.
41.
It was a 4147 because if you remember he'd already plotted a red at the start of the frame, behind the brown, and that's where all this came from. Really want to play into the couple of reds. It's almost like he doesn't fancy getting a result. He would have wanted to be straighter on this just to play the loose red. And if he was to just go into those reds half pace, I'd be disappointed not to be on something. Yeah, it's fine. He was almost thinking that nothing could possibly go right there, but it all did.
46.
So now it's really about guarding against an unexpected error. We saw one, of course, last night in the fourth frame from Higgins. He missed a red attempting to clear 4-0. It did unsettle him, I think, for a while anyway. He got it all back together when he needed to, 3-3.
$60. 61.
So Pink to lead by 68 with 67 on. It's turning into a really good match, this.
Yeah, I think John has picked up his game, hasn't he? We saw how well Noppon played in frame 2, and he has picked his game up.
67.
And I expect it to be a very interesting match, a good match. Two form players, obviously, when you get to the semi-finals. Can't promise anything for a respot, but like the one earlier, but evenly contested match. The one thing about Higgins is when he gets on a run,
74.
when he's knocking in breaks, you know, he's a very formidable player still.
75.
Still wants it as well. You can see that in him. We've heard it from the way he's talked. You know, he's not here for a round of applause and nice to see you sort of stuff. He's here to try and win.
Look at that to middle here, which wasn't what he intended.
Earlier on in the week, he was sort of breaking down at 40 and 50, but he's definitely playing better now. We saw that last night.
95.
He knows he has to at this stage of the tournament.
96.
So, black for career century number 967.
It was an absolutely super break, this. Positionally,
105.
pretty immaculate.
Yes, and he's completely frozen. Noppon Saengkham out. He played that great second frame. Confidence if this was the game.
112.
Been a bit of a one-man show. Well, this has been vintage Higgins. Second century of the week. The clearance of 130 from the 4 times world champion. A moment of true quality. And he leads the semi-final by 2 frames to 1.
It's the only reason it just rattled and stayed out. He does hit them quite hard. Tried to go in. wanted the cue to just go past that red, not brush it.
6.
And as a consequence, he's not very well placed on it now. And he missed the red. He'd have been right behind it to the left middle. Tricky little cut back now.
Fifteen.
No, we'll have to go up something lower in value. If you played up for the blue, to get into the reds, not so easy. The pink is just ahead of the bunch. So the blue into the reds would not be an easy shot to play. I think he's going to try and brush off the bunch here, though. Something you can always see. Works out well. It's perfect.
23.
Very measured shot there from John Higgins. He's opened up the reds now a treat.
Yeah, there's real confidence to how he's playing it here. Which hasn't been there the whole week. In those best of sevens, it was a bit of a struggle. We were here, weren't we, till about 1:45 in the morning, the Ricky Walden match. It was a noticeable sea change yesterday, and he's looking a lot better already tonight, actually. Well, that's Josephine, his mother there. And, see his daughter Claudia as well. His mother was, of course, in the audience when his first world title, and John looked up at her. He was sort of clearing up, and tears were coming to his eyes.
27.
Because it was his late father, John Senior, who first took him to a snooker club. He was very young, he was just 9 years of age, and that was the start of it all. Little did they know what would transpire.
Played that well.
32.
A little trace maybe of left down running side on that. Stop the cue ball hitting the ball cushion and checking. Sending it offline. Just seems to be getting going again. What a bit there. Curse on. Faces this little red for black. He does
33.
look to be playing better than he was at the start of the week anyhow. And that would be enough. Remains to be seen, but it usually is when he plays like this. Start of the week he looked, I don't know, he didn't seem himself really. He's got through all that. already scattered quite widely, but even more so now. The choice of Rev, the thin cut to the left corner. She's not really hoped for. Keep heading into ball, certainly up in that general direction. So what a hold there. A thin angle. He's stopped the keeper from just going out of place of any strength.
So Saengkham played a very good second frame. He looked confident. Won it 2 visits, scoring visits, but it's been a really spectator since. Looked in actually, but didn't go in.
Yeah, I think it was a bit unlucky for it to just drop right over the left middle, because it could have finished anywhere, that red, including in the pocket, as Dave was saying. It was close.
Since putted his last ball. He's hoping there's going to be some sort of twist here. It's going to come in the next couple of shots. Otherwise it'll be 3-1 Higgins.
$53. 60.
So red and the black to leave Noppon Saengkham requiring a snooker. A bit concerned, obviously, at the scoreline, but also just how well Higgins is queuing here tonight. Best he's looked all week, I think.
Look at this shot. It's torn between this red and the one just above the pink. End up playing a good shot though. It's perfect now, and it's his frame ball. But again, he'll put a ball or two after this black goes in to ensure that there's no snookers got. Yeah, he's played 2 good frames. He's not hit him with that string of long pots in frame 2.
68.
Pretty dominant since then, Higgins. Wrap up this frame. It's now a question of how many. Of the 30 in the previous. So this is good stuff from Higgins. This is more like the Higgins of maybe a decade ago than anything. With break making, coming back to him.
Yeah, I mean, form comes and goes for everyone, but what we're seeing again is when a player like Higgins finds it, my word, he finds it. We've seen it with his great contemporaries. Mark Williams won the British Open, Ronnie O'Sullivan won the UK Championship. Could John Higgins make it a hat-trick for the class of 92 here in the last tournament of the year? Well, the red stays out, so it's 92, but John Higgins has played some seriously good stuff in the last two frames, 130, and that frame-winning contribution as well. So the local man holds the advantage at the mid-session interval, 30-92 the breaks. Noppon Saengkham had played a good second frame. He's not followed a ball since then.
Noppon Saengkham to break.
Let's see if things change in the second half. He needs a good start this second mini-session. Success 98% from John Higgins. Missed on 92, didn't he? That was one of the two balls he's missed, but obviously the frame was well and truly won by then.
More than satisfactory, wasn't it, the way he played in? Obviously, he'll be quite a stiff critic of himself, but he'll be pleased with those four frames. Not that shot, though, because to come the other side of the red now brings Noppon Saengkham to the table with a chance. I think where the cue ball landed, actually, out of that snooker skate was where you'd put it with your hand if you were Noppon to try and put it and get on the black. It was absolutely the perfect angle. You could play it at the minimum pace. So it was a mistake by John. Of course, the other thing to say is that, let's be honest with John, he has played really well in a lot of matches and led in a lot of matches in the last couple of years, and he's very often not won them. Important games. It's always the tail end of big events. That's somewhere in his mind, I'm sure. Whether Noppon Saengkham is the man to exploit that, I don't know. But others have.
The cue ball just come to rest near the side cushion. So a bit of a tester early on here. Attempts to get back into this match. Yeah, could have done without that, really. A shot like that.
Indeed, he screwed too far on the red, didn't he? And like you say, they're never going to be easy shots, those. It's just hitting the top of the cue ball. That's all you can see. I expected him to get it, but they can be missed.
So Higgins was shaking his head initially, having left the first red, but no real damage done, just 13 points. It's 29 years since he won his first ranking title. It was the 94 BetVictor crowd in the final. Still a teenager. In fact, he won 2 more as a teenager that season. And he was off and winning regularly.
a choice of reds here. Red to middle is probably going to be the one.
60.
If you could press on it, we mentioned earlier on about matches where he's led clear and been beaten. And if he could press on here, it mightn't be that kind of evening. The way he's playing, he might just be able to go away and win comfortably because he looks in good form.
70.
Never quite going to go enough with the cue ball, but he has hit the jaw of the pocket, which means he's not on the blue as he would hope. Slightly more angle than he would have wanted on this blue. Well, controlling the cue ball position. Yeah, he did not mean any of that. He's lucky there. He's very fortunate to be on that red. He had no clue
22.
about finishing on that one.
No, I mean, this is, well, he holds his hand up as well, he might, but this is just a sort of sign that it might be his night, I think. Little things going for him.
He's just looking at the two reds very close to his cue ball there as to whether they were a plant. I'm sure they are. Certainly had a look down the line of this shot. Sure, I mean, it would have been even luckier actually because he pushed one of those reds into that possible plant and landed on a that he knew nothing about, so he's quite fortunate on that blue earlier. Maybe it goes with the territory of playing as well as he seems to be playing. Now does he go into the bunch? Can he possibly play on that left-hand red from sort of the line of where the pink is down towards the left corner? Or plant may not quite be there. It's fine, absolutely fine. Would come as a bit of a surprise if he wasn't to go and convert this to another frame where the balls are, but I guess he's still going to do it. In first, of course, but he had that black with the white close to the side cushion, and when you've been sort of frozen out against someone who's playing brilliant stuff, just put a lot of pressure on him to pot it and to keep things a bit more straightforward. And this is why, because this is what can happen.
this was it. Right that he missed.
52.
He got close to it. It was always slightly heading towards that top jaw, but there always will be missable shots. Well down. It's not A1 on the next colour. Certainly not to pop the colour this pink and then finishing behind a red. He's got to do this. Concerned. I know what John's like. When you're going as well as he is, you've got your opponent where you want him. He'd be absolutely fuming that he isn't on the frame there. You can hear some mutterings. The boys looked like they were absolutely laid out for him after that break. Not to think that he would fail. But it's only relevant because Noppon somehow pulls his frame out of the fire. Kind of the shot before, wasn't it? Even though he's likely to pop that, he knows he shouldn't have been in that position.
It's a big visit this now because Higgins has been on top in this match.
6.
He's been dominant certainly the last few frames, but Saengkham can steal this one, then maybe it all turns around. And again, those matches that he hasn't quite closed out, frames hasn't quite closed out, they'll be sort of coming back into his mind.
Yeah, we saw John looking at the two reds. I don't think they're dead set as a plant to that right corner. Surely he might have played them before then, or Noppon hasn't really given them much thought. It looks like they're hitting the right jaw, those two reds. Maybe able to make it into a plant. Well, he tried to move the right-hand red of the two, so he clearly thinks they're not on.
40.
And it's a bit late to be coming around and have a look now. I think he tried to flick the top red, bring them both into play. Looks like he's hitting the right jaw to me.
Looks like he agrees.
Good shot. I mean, it was a very acute angle, and if you're not right behind it with the cue ball like he was, you're probably not going to even go for that. It's a very big shot. Trying to get the reds out as well. And that's unlucky. He's got into it too much, but he was asking a lot there to put that slightly awkward black and chip both reds into open play. He's not managed it.
Noppon Saengkham 22.
So a tense frame now, 18 points in it. Higgins had his chance, missed the pink. Saengkham couldn't continue, didn't get on the red. 4-1 or 3-2.
was a pretty good idea, wasn't it? There's no harm done there. Didn't leave anything. Got the advantage on points, John. 18 points, but you kind of get the feeling that maybe whoever pots the next ball will win the frame anyhow. Because absolutely nothing difficult about where everything is placed. Good effort. Quite. Referee Olivier Martin looking down the line here. I wonder if he's covered the potting angle to the right red, to the middle pocket. Seems likely that he has, although everyone's had a look. John, Olivier, and now Noppon Saengkham. Well, he doesn't think he can pot it. Not in the middle anyway. You'd always fancy John to win the end game of frames against less experienced players. John's part of the class of '92. Noppon Saengkham born that year. I think he'd have a little bit more experience and savvy, but it doesn't always work out that way. Goodness, that was close. Well, he's lucky. He's very lucky. I know that's obvious, but I think more so than the pot going in, it would have stayed over the pocket, I think. And he's managed to get the pink out of play as well.
I'm sure he felt he cued it really well, which he did. Then obviously the great fortune to see it go in another pocket. See Pierce's son there on the right.
Black ball.
Who's a bit of a making waves in comedy, actually. John said he was out with him the other day and everyone recognised his son, not him.
He's just tried to kill off the black ball there. He's not quite done it. I don't know where it is. He just completely forgot about the snooker, or decided not to even try and play the snooker on the red. But Noppon Saengkham, the aggressive player, how difficult it is. I've seen him knock these in. He's winding himself up for it. Brilliant. He's such a great long potter. As good as anybody, I think, right now in the game. It's a big statement, but John's on the receiving end of it. though obviously the pink went safe and the black's been deliberately put a little awkwardly. That might be a determining factor because, as I said, it was a very open table earlier.
7.
The only good news for Noppon in this instance is, of course, they'll be level on the pink. If he puts brown and blue here, which means John, of course, also needs the black that he put safe earlier. So they'll both be in the same boat. It's a great effort, isn't it? Terrific. But this is now probably as good as it could have been on the black. It doesn't mean this is not a missable shot, because it is. What a frame to steal this would be.
John Higgins was in, he missed the pink on 53. Well, that is an unbelievable clearance right from the first red. My word, what a steal from Noppon Saengkham. He's right back in the match, trailing just 3-2.
More about how he got into a little bit of a predicament where he didn't get on the pink right, missed it to the middle. Looked for all the world as if he was just going to pop what was there and get the frame one. And as I said before, it's kind of what has happened to him a few times in a couple of seasons now. Sometimes I think has it become more psychological than anything else? I guess we'll see how this all pans out.
Also, the shot he played on the last red, he tried to put the black on the cushion. It didn't quite go as safe as it could have done. And he left it, the pot at the ready. Having said that, it was an incredible pot.
That's a good point. And he could have actually tried a little bit harder to get a snooker. I mean, I'm certainly not telling John how to play, of course, but maybe a decision he would have done differently now. As you say, trying to kill the black, left the red in open play, and that was his last shot. So all these little things. He's made another mistake there, and that's a sizable error. So I'd say the wheel's fallen off. It just come a little bit loose.
First term pro as a teenager in 2010, he won the World Under 21 Championship. Dropped off, but he's been back on now for a decade. And he's been as high as 22 in the world, currently 26, obviously can go higher. To go all the way this weekend. He's kind of just been completely shut out, wasn't he? But things have changed dramatically.
That's going to be okay, even if he's not on that left-hand red, which he'd like to be. The red to the middle is on.
22.
It was a nice split. Reds have been fully developed there. It's got to play another shot here positionally. To avoid a bulk colour, playing back down for a red. She's done very nicely. Just getting into that groove, isn't he? Upon what she can do. It could be a surprise that he's never won anything before when you see him like this. Just hits the ball that fraction harder than other players I've seen. Just thuds into the back of the pockets. Some other players I've seen, I'm talking about other leading players, not people you see down the billiard hall who just make balls as high as they can. Just a lot of the top players stroke the balls in so gently because they've got the conditions to suit them, but Noppon just gives it a little bit more. Especially at long range.
Close matches. He qualified for the Crucible last season with a black ball win 10-9 over Zhang Anda, of course, who's gone on to great things this season. Shot a great last black, actually. When you meet him, you know, he's a lovely guy and very humble and down to earth, but snooker players often change when they put that tyre on, get out there with the cue in the arena, and you really see what they're like.
Just got to be careful here. Which red would he try to play on? Because those five down the centre are all tying each other up a little bit. where he could screw off the right side of the bunch, and the red out and open play would also come into the equation. Just a red and almost any colour will do. Just struggle to put two balls in this middle pocket. I'm sure this is not another one of those.
Still needs this in. John Higgins was sailing towards a 4-1 lead, wasn't he? Left himself that slightly awkward pink that he missed in the last frame. Noppon Saengkham has taken advantage. It's been a great break. Higgins needs one snooker. This was it. 53 at the time, and that was his reaction.
If you could go back about 6 shots earlier in that break, 5 or 6 shots, you know, that it didn't seem likely that he was going to break down until there was hardly anything left on the table. Certainly during the frame. What a great shot that is. It was only one snooker, but he has now put the frame to bed, it would appear.
Yeah, it's very impressive, this. Noppon Saengkham not at all demoralised by the way Higgins was playing. Waited for his chance, and now he's grabbed it with both hands. He's already had 5 centuries in this tournament. Chance for another one here.
76. 77. 84.
So Higgins has got to dig in. It's kind of what happened last night as well. He was control against Ford. There was one shot that changed that match. It was a red that he missed in the 4th frame. Of course, he did win eventually, but there was a lot of sort of trauma to absorb first. And also, in the end, he had to rely last night on Tom Ford missing a couple. Noppon Saengkham is not guaranteed to do that. So he looked all the world to be 4-1 down. He won that last frame with a terrific clearance. Now he needs the black, and it's 3-3. And it's game very much on.
It really is. Superb break. Very studious on every shot, that little routine where he just eases himself into the shots, and nothing really seems to change. Even though the frame is won, he's almost got a drill which just takes him into the shot, the right angle every time.
106. 108.
Well, as we said earlier, these last couple of semi-finals, he lost to Mark Allen 6-1 on both occasions. Didn't really show up, but this is different today. Producing exactly the sort of snooker you need to against a great of the game at this stage of a tournament. Plenty of people here, of course, who want to see this man win on home soil. Will be appreciating the quality of this contribution.
120.
Slight frown there on his face. He knows he's got hard work to do now in this match.
126.
Because Noppon Saengkham is come very much alive here. Wonderful break that. A total clearance of 133 from Thailand's Noppon Saengkham. Right back in it now. The second semi-final. High quality match. That's why the odd shot here and there has made a difference.
Well, that one putt will make him feel better. It was very cleanly struck from John. Keeper's just drifted onto the bolt line, which if he's playing the green, we heard him nominate it there. It's going to be tough, so in behind it. Wanted to be putting the green where possible, but because the keeper, as I say, just drifted on to the point where he couldn't really take the risk.
Get in, someone shouted. They want to see him on the front foot again. Good pot.
So John's chance to respond to the brilliance of Noppon Saengkham to get it to 3-3.
Thank you. 6.
He's in two minds here. It's a bit more difficult, I think, than the pink, but he feels he's got better position. And somebody overdoing it there.
Third time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, John actually asked him just to pipe down there as well.
I'm not sure how he thinks he's helping anybody. If it was the last ball of the match or something, I can understand it. He's peaked a bit too soon, I think, that chap. Yeah, he wanted a full ball kiss there. He's all right. John just telling people to simmer down in the audience.
Yeah, could be quite a long nut ahead yet. You want to sort of pace yourself. It's a rather surprising shot from John. He's usually very close up with his position. This time the keeper has drifted further by a bit than he would have wanted. It's not so much the pot, it's just getting on to the next red.
happy. His concentration has been broken. But the shot before, he wasn't really behind as black as he usually is. That's the upshot of it.
Higgins 20.
Just see the sort of regretful way he walked away from the table there. Obviously wanted to continue. Good chance to grasp momentum back again. Again, though, he didn't miss that time, just lost positions. But success, Higgins is at 97%. So, he's played some great stuff this evening.
Yeah, I mean, the stats say that, but what if he feels that way? At the moment, I don't think he does feel he's played great stuff. He hasn't missed many pots. It's more, the keyboard started to just run a little loose by his high standards.
Well, he's been affected, hasn't he, by that one mistake he made when he didn't get perfectly on the pink and then missed it. That was the start of it. And this happened last night with Tom Ford. He missed a red frame 4. For a few frames, he was unsettled. He did get it back together when he needed to last night. The question is, can he do so tonight? And a lot of it, of course, depends on this man at the table and what he does.
Not sure what he played on. Yeah, keyboard there. Anyway, don't hesitate to take this blue on.
Blue ball. Six. Seven.
And the keeper has just stopped in an awkward spot once again. Both players seem to be finding them. They would even risk this red down the cushion, the one below the black. I think he's winding up to play it. This is really difficult, actually. He'll never be in this position that he's on it. Very nice. Very nice. I don't think he hesitated for very long. He just thought, I'm going to get on with this. Shouldn't be on this ball. But let's get on with the game. He helped him there.
He certainly doesn't shrink from a big shot, does he? He's played plenty tonight so far, and he's got plenty. That was another one. It's almost like he's saying, well, Higgins has lost a bit of confidence, but maybe not grown in confidence.
It's a very sweet shot, especially positionally. Right-hand red, I wonder if it looks possible to the left corner. He could have played it last shot. If he played a positive shot instead to get the red away from the black there. So he's still behind in the frame. But I feel that he's favourite to win the frame because of where the balls are and how he's approaching this visit. How about that for a miss? Where has that come from? Just a simple shot playing up for the red. Gary Wilson missed a black to the same part of the pocket this afternoon. He was high on it. It wasn't the same shot, but he hit the same place and stayed out as well.
It was just completely out of nowhere, wasn't it? Sure, Higgins wasn't expecting it.
I think sometimes, you know, when you're John Higgins, you look pretty down in the dumps. Sometimes it's your opponent you need to see make an error rather than you do something good. He's seen weakness in his opponent there. Quite encouraging.
It's kind of comforting, I think, for anyone who plays snooker at club level. You know, even the best can just miss out of nowhere. But it's, well, as I said last night, and it's true, in every match you see, you can have more than one turning point. We saw one earlier with Higgins. We may have seen crucial miss there from Noppon Saengkham. Higgins needed some help to get back in. This is his chance to go back in front.
No.
The question is about the red by the pink. I don't know if that pots anywhere. So I'll have to move it. Nudge into the red and pink. That's what he tried to do. So the frame will certainly live on.
16.
Curious shot, isn't it?
Higgins,
That might be a
16.
free ball.
Noppon Saengkham. 5.
Big call this. Free ball makes a lot of difference. So a very easy ball. It is a free ball. See, we're having a look down the line of this to see ourselves whether we can judge it.
Big ball.
massive call. Very fine referee, Olivia Martial. Still got the problem with the red by the pink, but the free ball changes things for me. Counts as a red, he's on his colour. Is he going to play the same cannon? Just shifting that red away. Understand why, because it wouldn't have been certainty that he'd have done anything. Of course he'll have to play it with his next colour.
That's the shot that he played, one of the most un-Higgins-like shots you'll see. Anyone can miss a ball, but looked certain to get the first good safety in. Once again, it's out of his hands. Big shot coming up for this last red.
I think that Higgins went for it, didn't he? I mean, as you say, I thought it said break over. Assuming he wouldn't even attempt that ball, but if he did play it, he missed it by a mile. Knocked the blue in. It couldn't look more scruffy, really. Most un-Higgins-like. All of that.
Well, they're bringing the drama today, aren't they, in these semi-finals? Flick the red, but not to be on it. So, 3 points in it on the last red. 3-3 in the match. Good grief.
Yeah, just put too much spin on the ball there. New cloth today, maybe got into it too much. It's not a very nice shot now, because you can only see part of this. Interesting shot, and quite a good one.
Noppon Saengkham 14.
It's a long red. We saw that in the 5th frame.
And he really does. Dave called it, and it's
So he's looking, you've got to say, the more assured of the two right now. Planted a great red again. The first time we'll be in front.
22.
yeah, the match has changed, hasn't it? There's no doubt about that. He knows it. And it was changed maybe by a Higgins mistake, which has been pounced upon.
Higgins.
Brilliant from Noppon Saengkham, this.
It really is. He's looking to reach his first final. He's playing a legend here who's on. Having been sailing, it seemed, towards a 4-1 lead. He's in a little spot of bother, 4-3 down. He's played well overall, but just a few shots here and there. That's all it's been that made a difference. Did have the chance in that last frame after Saengkham missed that black unexpectedly, didn't take it. Again, Noppon Saengkham knocked in that terrific last red, made enough from there. There's the pot success, 97% plays 93. It's been high quality. Saengkham, though, has got to deal with now the new circumstances of being in front. This would be one of his best ever wins tonight if he could get the match won, because obviously it'd be in his first ever final. We heard at the start, didn't we, how much he respects John Higgins as well. That's the other factor beating this one.
I feel that there's quite a lot of snooker that could well be played in this match yet. Yes, John's in a slightly precarious position now from 3-1 up and 4-3 down, but as you rightly say, Noppon Saengkham, he's got to get over the line in this match. Win 2 more frames. Sometimes he finds it a little difficult, I think, to convert winning chances, as we saw in the Masters. Anyway, a little bit of luck will help, and there was a bit.
Yellow ball. Noppon Saengkham.
Wasn't a very good shot. Tried to hide, keep him behind the yellow, and didn't do anything of the kind.
Two hours playing time. Gary Wilson's keeping an eye on this. Of course, he plays the winner tomorrow. Still unbeaten at the Meadowback Centre. A bit of a safety exchange might just suit John, just take the sting out of the situation a bit, because he's been outpointed a little bit in the last few frames. Out of safety sometimes just blunts the player that's playing better. Racing around the angles. It's not a good shot again from John.
slightly out of control there. And of course, the red. Not happening. Playing it as a figure of 8, swinging it round the angles. That cue will be just hit it all wrong. Cue was going too fast, basically.
Three. Four.
Well, he's been knocking these in most of the week, actually. Never going to say that they're certainties because I'm still going to cue them well. It's just that you don't really see him missing shots like that. Those straightish, just off straight shots, pure cueing shots. He seems to have them mastered most of the time.
Ten.
Quite an unusual player, as I said earlier, just his whole makeup as a player is, there's a little bit of deliberate over his shots. In the same way a sort of a slowish match player might be, but then the shots he plays are pretty cavalier
15.
at the end of it.
Sixteen.
Yeah, having to put a bit of mileage on the cue ball with the black and pink not in great positions at the moment. It looks assured right now. I suppose the match has just shifted a little bit with him
22.
taking the lead. Suddenly he's now, okay, in a kind of winning position.
Yeah, this is quite a hard-earned break, as you said. The cue was going all around the angles. I think there's a red in the middle of the bunch, which may well pop in the left corner. He really, as I said on the black though, and getting it back into play somehow. Chipping away, he's not made that many yet. Seems a break of 22, whatever it is now, 27. It's been very well worked and hard earned.
Are coming to play here, so there's definitely a chance to build a nice lead at the very least in the frame. Still with pink and black, great. Playing on the black this time.
25.
played safe actually there, but just trying to open things up. It's a much easier pattern this, isn't it, the last round?
Well, the balls are much better now than when he started this break. He felt like he might just make a couple of red blues or something, but persistence is the key. A repeat of that miss earlier on, which, in fact, that last black was slightly more difficult than the previous.
Higgins family and friends here.
I think you'd have to be concerned, Dave. Obviously, it's first to 6, not first to 5. But, and then Noppon has just inspired, or he's been given more confidence by John starting to struggle. I'm not sure. 3-1 John, and they broke for the mid-session. Would be a very brave person to have thought that it would be John in the final tomorrow. Well, that was always 50-50, wasn't it? It felt like it was going to hit the jaw. But what to do? Is this a play in the left corner? Didn't look in, did it? Let's be honest. Just fell in off the jaw. Now, these two reds, they're not a plant, but they can be made into one. Cue ball just above the line of them would be absolutely the perfect place. That looks fine.
56.
So what a turnaround. John Higgins was sailing towards a 4-1 lead. He didn't kill that frame off. Noppon Saengkham needs this black. He'll be 5-3 up and a frame from the final. It's been another very impressive break. It wasn't straightforward early on. Having to rely on the blue. He's worked it all out superbly. Two snookers already needed. And that puts it beyond doubt. Another great pot from Noppon Saengkham.
He's an incredible potter, isn't he? I mean, he knocks some shots in. This break has been superb. Really difficult. He's tried
72.
really hard on every shot. John's had to sit out a long time in this break. 10-minute break. It's been probably hard to watch for John Higgins. But the pots just keep going in.
Further example here, further evidence of the quality on tour, the strength and depth. So many players now capable of producing real high quality snooker in big matches. We've seen that with Zhang Anda, of course, this season. So the stage is set for the next frame, which will be one of the biggest Noppon Saengkham's ever played. Because if he wins it, he's in his first final. He's going into it feeling great after this break, which could well be a second century of the evening for him.
86. 87. 93.
Thunderous pots going in. And this really has been a good break. So, at the beginning, it didn't seem likely that you'd get near a century. Superb stuff.
It's pretty stunning, isn't it, this? He's getting better and better as the match goes on. You know, we're wondering, okay, how would he stand up to it when he went in front at 4-3? Well, this is how. Safety game's been good as well. He's been keeping John Higgins on the back foot. Higgins going to have to win the last three now.
113.
Saengkham looking so confident. Delightful clearance of 120. Noppon Saengkham firmly on top. He's won the last four and he's won them in style. 5-3. He needs one more and he is in the final. Play with the same confidence to close it out.
To go for this, tough as it is. Very difficult. He's just trying to find a way of getting back into the match. And while he's not, he's probably thinking, well, I need to attack and try and give Noppon a bit of his own medicine. Hard to do. He's left a red to the middle here immediately. I think the last part of the equation for Noppon Saengkham is to get over the line. We've seen him have difficulties doing that. Beaten 6-5 by Tom Ford. Must have been painful. That's what John has to think about, focus on, perhaps, as well as his own game. I think it might have been on its way to the pocket. Did it just graze the yellow on the way through? Just took it offline. Yeah, it certainly did. So a different kind of a frame building up here with the reds possibly going to end up, or some of them at the other end of the table.
Be a good scoring chance, you feel. The ball's opening up, but who's going to get it is the question.
No easy safety shot here with the reds at the other end and the cue ball underneath the back cushion. Where does he get a safe area? Here again. Goodness. That was close. That was close. He couldn't see a safety shot and he got very close to the red to the right corner. The right middle. Brave shot, but I suppose it's all he had.
This looks a golden scoring chance for Higgins. At just the right moment for him. He made a wonderful 130 and then a 92 frames 3 and 4 of this match. Since then, of course, the 53 in frame 5 that didn't become a winning break ultimately. One of those situations, it's a great chance, but if he slips up at any point, they're all there for Noppon Saengkham to get it won. So, really got to knuckle down here. Still at 96%, as you see on the pot success. He's not missed much tonight.
I guess it's the kind of chance he really did need, something substantial. He's got to win the frames any way he can, but just something that would get him a frame quickly, I think. Try and get a bit of confidence back, trying to think about his opponent who might be looking at the winning line or thinking about his first final. A lot of snookers played in the mind, as we know, and we all know each frame has just got to be won. But it doesn't seem to be quite like that when you've got one more to win. The big one is the one where you end up the winner at the end. So there could well be quite a bit of mileage left in this match.
23.
Absolutely hopping mad at that. I mean, again, it's such a big area to land in. How has he finished there? For him, of all people, you know, I mean, we all make mistakes, but John, over the years, has very infrequently played a positional shot as poorly as that one. He was always set very high standards of himself. Double, was it possible? He was very good at those when he plays them. Red cut in. He'd be so annoyed. He's kind of something we've seen a lot from him. I seem to remember a shot in that Northern Ireland final. He had 6 up on it over Mark Allen, and he didn't get on the black right, missed it, and he was absolutely fuming. Got a little bit haywire here. I'll be up there. Can't understand why he hit it at that speed.
Maybe just a bit of adrenaline. Cool. Higgins had though there to make just 35 would be sick.
Yeah, I thought he was playing the double at first. He could get to the potting angle, but he ended up having to play that shot. And he was right behind the blue with reds scattered. I've decided that he can get to the black after all that. I think he saw it at first. It's a strange one because he was looking at the green for ages, then the brown for ages, and it's like it all dawned on him the black went.
8.
If you put the one closest to the top left pocket, that really helps. It gets the other end open as well.
Well, it's his chance to win. Put himself in the final. Set up a huge occasion against Gary Wilson on Sunday. This is his 5th semi-final, remember. He's never been further in the world ranking event. Huge moments for him. See with the rest, he's been golden this evening, 12 out of 12. But as I say, these are big moments. He's just starting to just look at things and maybe sort of dawning on him how big this visit could be.
Yeah, it's been a quite eventful week of, was it 12? If he could just hold this cue ball in amongst those reds gently, maybe kiss into something, with a big shot. Great. He's got a shot queuing awkwardly over a red. Could have been easier than this.
Well, surely if he can just get nicely on a red here, then they are all there for him to win this match.
Exactly, Dave. And just this yellow, just stay on the left side of the table. Take your pick. Just look at those reds all stacked up. What a chance this is.
20.
This is a man who named his daughter Believe, Noppon Saengkham. You do need that belief in this sport. It's so tough mentally. John Higgins is an absolute master, but it was pink, wasn't it, to this very pocket in frame 5 that turned the match. Higgins missed, opened the door. Saengkham won that frame. He's made 2 centuries since. John Higgins fearing it's over. Here it is. Wasn't on it quite ideally, but that miss was the start of his problems. Because he was playing so well up to that point.
Thank you. 28.
But we've been there before. It was great. The champion has been for so long. We have seen this creeping into his game for a couple of years. We have. The road just falls off a little bit. Believe someone I think is one of the all-time greats. I honestly believe now it's become a little bit
34.
a psychological thing with John more than anything, because we know he's still playing well.
him. He's a very dedicated professional. Practices hard. He's one of those people you never hear a bad thing about him from the other players. There's a chance he has here to get into a final. Set up the opportunity to win a maiden ranking event. And he would have beaten one of the greats to do it.
41.
He hasn't won yet, but he's played marvellous stuff from 3-1 down. He really has. Just got to ensure that he doesn't tense up and something that he hasn't been missing.
Yes, I'm sure many members of this crowd in Scotland would love to see John Higgins in the final, but they will appreciate the quality of the performance, the turnaround from Noppon Saengkham, who's potted some terrific balls.
49.
That puts him 21 in front, so yellow and green needed.
The green being away from its spot, he's got to be mindful of that. It's not what it usually is. I know it sounds obvious, but just screw short and have an awkward shot of the green. And he's stretching a bit here. It's the last possible thing that seems to go wrong. That's lovely.
58.
Well, no one could deserve to be in the final more than Noppon Saengkham. The hours of practice. Play could ever wish to meet a person in any form of life. Actually, it's a delight, and disappointed as John would be, I know that he'll be very warm in his congratulations.
Yes, he will recognise how well Noppon Saengkham has turned this around, how well he's played. He really has, and needed just this chance, the one chance in the clinching frame. The last final of 2023, Gary Wilson, the defending champion, will take on final debutant in Noppon Saengkham, who goes
76.
through to the title match, having knocked out one of the all-time greats in his own backyard. What a performance from Noppon Saengkham, absolutely superb. And he's getting quite emotional at what he's done, what he's achieved and who he's beaten. And wasn't John Higgins really graceful there as well? He's in tears at reaching his first ever